Hi guys, it's Markera Feather Strong here with this week's inspirational card draw for you. I use these cards as part of my life coaching practice to help spark much needed conversations and to help my clients go deeper into understanding themselves and to get the results that they want. So I have 3 piles and let's get into it. So your motivational quote, if you chose this pile to lead with, will be freedom and victory belong to those who remain strong and true despite temptation. Work on surrendering to complete healing this week. Once open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. And your soul word for this week is joy. Joy and ecstasy flow through me wildly and freely. So here we have freedom and freely showing up in 2 different cards. So it's about remaining dedicated to yourself, honoring yourself. You open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. You'll have the freedom and victory. You'll have joy and ecstasy. This is a very intense card draw. What is it that you need to forgive yourself for? What do you need to let yourself heal from? What are you holding back from giving in to just letting it go and starting over? Don't you desire to be free of it? Don't you desire to be unburdened, unfettered? It's not easy being strong and true, especially in the face of temptation. But the reward for staying strong and true, for opening to complete healing, is freedom, victory over what it is that you're letting keep you bound. And that joy and ecstasy will flow through you wildly and freely, giving you a new lease and a new look on life. Wouldn't that be better than always seeing the downside, the bad side, the hard side? I think it's been long enough now that you've been wallowing in your hurt. There are ways out of it. And like I always say, I'm a strong supporter of coloring pages, journaling, affirmations, visualizations. So many things where you can express yourself, where you can let it all flow, and having a good old cry as well. So pile 1, that was your inspiration for this week. Let me know in the comments if this resonated and how you plan to work on this. Okay, pile 2, you're leading with your soul card this week. So, passion. I passionately accept and love myself. Your motivational quote is, we have forgotten that the natural flow to life is not a distant death, but a present in the moment detachment from living. And surrender stubbornness this week. If you're tensing up or taking a rigid stance about something, gently observe yourself and become more yielding. This will help you communicate more lovingly with others and yourself. This reading is interesting, especially since there's a situation that I'm dealing with now in my own life where there's some detachment going on. And we're trying to work through it. Life has been kind of overwhelming. And so there's been withdrawal. And it's been having a domino effect. So we've forgotten that the natural flow to life is not a distant death. It's not cherishing every moment. It's not being in that moment and enjoying what's going on. For me, I have children, and there are times when they want to talk, and it may be a day that I'm just very overwhelmed. But I do 90% of the time make the time to let them talk. And I sit in that moment and I look at them and I always think back to the tiny baby that they were. And I look at them in amazement at this fully grown human that has all these thoughts and feelings and opinions and experiences going on. And I have to remind myself to suck that moment up, because one moment I was carrying them and now they're almost adults. So that's an example of being in the moment and not detaching, not avoiding things, because like I said, 90% of the time I will make the time to listen, and there have been moments where I've asked them to come back to me, give me a minute to stand there and catch myself so that I can give them my best attention. There have been a few times where I've listened with half an ear and it has not gone well, but we are all human and life can really be very hard and difficult. And you can become stubborn in not being detached. Are you taking a rigid stance about something? Become more yielding. It'll help you communicate more lovingly with others and yourself. Our knee-jerk reaction a lot of times is to withdraw, is to go within ourselves and ruminate over whatever it is that's making us unhappy. Sometimes we do not look towards what it is that can make us happy, or we often turn to unhealthy habits in the name of making ourselves happy. There could be addictions in the form of watching a lot of TV, trying to block out the world, eating, drinking, drugs. There are lots of ways that we seek enjoyment, but that doesn't bring true happiness. And it's also a very, very big way of detaching, because we're blocking out the world. It's time to be more loving. The passion card comes up, goes hand in hand with the surrender stubbornness. I passionately accept and love myself. So whatever it is that you're dealing with, look within to see what strengths are being built. Look to see what other ways you can get through what it is you're going through. Look to see who else you can lean on. Maybe you're someone who's always the shoulder for somebody else, and in this time you need a shoulder of your own. You can go through your network and see who it is that you can lean on. Who can you reach out to help you through whatever it is you're going through. They can also give you their perspective to help you be a little bit more less stubborn about yielding and giving in to being more gentle and loving with yourself. So pile 2, that's what you have to work on this week. You can drop a comment and let me know if this resonates, and let me know how you plan to tackle whatever it is you're dealing with in this situation. Hi pile 3. So what is it that you need to lead off to surrender with this week? So surrender your belief in scarcity. That's a big... Where's that glare coming from? Okay. The universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. And your motivation to go with that: we do not need to wait for perfect conditions. We'll find perfection and progress and breakthrough. I soar into limitless love, light, and joy. Interesting. These 3 go together so beautifully. In surrendering your belief in scarcity, you'll understand what limitless love, light, and joy feels like. Once you step into those, everything else falls into place. Make that progress, because it says we do not need to wait for perfect conditions. It'll never be the right time. It'll never be perfectly perfect. But you'll find perfection in making that progress, in doing the work. There's more than enough to go around. It's just up to you to find your way, to take the first step. And once you start towards your goal, no, it will not be smooth sailing. It will not be easy, but it will definitely be worth it. You can work through each blockage. You begin to see a pattern. You begin to understand where the blockages come from. You begin to understand why you're experiencing them. You begin to see where they correlate to certain characteristics that you have, certain traits that you struggle with. And you just learn to knock them down one by one. When they crop up again, you won't dally as long about moving through. The infinite nature of abundance, limitless love, light, and joy, perfection in progress. Sometimes we fear failure, or we tell ourselves we fear failure. But what I've learned along the way is that sometimes we can be so afraid of success. It's easy to be a victim. It's easy to sit behind the wall and get tired of hitting it, trying to break it down. But we can also be fearful of setting ourselves free, because it's so easy to tell a sad story. It's so easy to seek pity. It's so easy to sit and wallow in self-pity and self-doubt. But to actually embrace success, to embrace your dreams coming true, can also bring a degree of fear. It's a change. It's a mind-blowing actuality that sometimes some of us aren't ready for. We feel our stomach knot in just pure anxiety. But I cannot tell you how many times I felt that knot and pushed through and done it anyway. And I have no regrets. There's always been something wonderful on the other side of me pushing through. So I'm telling you, feel the fear and do it anyway. Throw aside the belief that there are so many other people doing the same thing, so there's no room for you. Put your spin on it. Take away the fear that it's not going to come out right. It's not going to look right. It's not going to sound right. Just do it. Because practice makes perfection is in the progress. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes progress. Excuse that loud sound. My window is open and there are cars going by. But yeah, you can do it now and continue to do it. And by the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th time, it begins to look a little better, sounds a little better, comes across a little clearer. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're holding back from doing. Because you get a feel for it. You get a feel for any reactions that come in. You get a feel for how it makes people feel. You get a feel for how it makes you feel. And you gain confidence each time that you do it. Your breakthrough is right there. But like I always tell people, the only thing you can control is you, your reaction, what you do, how you do it. So drop a comment and let me know if this resonates, Pile 3. Let me know how you plan to tackle what it is you're dealing with. And I'll see you guys next week.